less than 50 at a time.
Well, today it is. This is the day. We have arrived at that. This time of year is always so warm, despite the weather, isn't it? People holding doors and paying for each other's meals, tipping extra, donating, and giving some food to the homeless folk. It's a time where we've agreed we need a break from worrying about money and about the future to just enjoy all the little things we don't normally get to. Family and friends, splurging on nice dinners and gifts, playing in the snow without a thought in your head about what's going to happen tomorrow or the next day or the one after that. But you're feeling it too, right? The least Christmassy Christmas ever. It's not like it's some overnight thing, mind you. I think we've all noticed holiday spirits in decline over the last few years, but this year, it's like we didn't even try. Feels like hardly anyone bothered putting up decorations. No one's really having holiday parties. But it's more than that, isn't it? I mean, of course it is. It has to be. We can't all just have gotten bored of Christmas. It could be something to do with the fact that it's obvious now that we have two sides of the exact same coin as a political system. Could be that within the next 40 to 50 years we could be finding out that humanity is going extinct. It could be the Friends reunion, who knows? But I think one thing's for sure. I want to do a fucking tier list video. Cracking open a cold one with the soys. That's what I call my audience now, the soys. Alright. Hey, howdy, hey. Welcome back, everyone. My name, as you may or may not know, is Sleepy Sam, and on this channel we just have some goofs and gaffs. From time to time. Today I thought I'd do another tier list. I say another, but I mean at this point there's only one public tier list video on the channel. But I've done a couple of these. I fucking love them, and I will never get tired of them. I don't care if this is like a 2017, 2016, whatever thing. I'm still going. I got shit to rank. Today we got a special one for you, you know, I think on theme with what I like to talk about here. Today we're going to be ranking unhealthy coping mechanisms, you know, as drinking and smoking and doing bad things to yourself or other people and the like. I say honestly, we just go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to start off today with, what are we starting off with today? We're starting off with drinking. Okay. Drinking. Overall, with my experience, drinking has almost always resulted in just bad things. Whether something physically bad happens to you or you just end up doing something you almost always regret, and you 9 times out of 10 will end up doing that. I'm gonna have to put drinking solidly in the D tier. D for drinking. It serves little to no purpose. I don't think anything has ever been made better by drinking. But it's definitely not the worst thing you can do to cope with the bad thoughts.
Oh, do you like my little vintage smoking thing?
No, it's comfy.
White Hole smoking mixture. Kentucky Club mixture. Fine Tabasco. Oh, tobacco. I thought it was a Tabasco can this whole time.
What if I said a racial slur?
Oh, then I would get demonetized.
Whatever, I was like 14.
Was that?
I got him demonetized.
Alrighty, up next we got smoking. This can include anything from cigarettes and the hookah to the jewels and the vapes and the dab pens to the marijuana. We're going to exclude smoking things like crack or DMT, because those become an entirely different thing altogether than smoking weed or smoking cigarettes. But I think smoking takes a lot longer and a lot more of it to start doing some harm to you. And that does not, by any means, no part of this video is a recommendation for you to do anything I talk about. There's a reason this is called the unhealthy coping mechanisms tier list, you know? But smoking, I mean, I've been smoking weed at least since I was like 13, and I honestly, if I could take it back, I would, because I still to this day smoke too much. Anytime you feel any problems, you just immediately just want to hit that, and if you can't hit that, then it's like, I don't know where to put all this fucking anger. We'll put it in the B tier. We'll put it in the B tier, because it can't just be one tier above drinking, because I think significantly higher of, no pun intended, smoking than drinking.
My entire life. And I know
that supposed to mean?
just
We're not all pretty boys sometimes, babe. Caleb, do you feel like a pretty boy?
no cake. It's okay. I could have gotten. Usually we would buy Great American cakes. That was just like our thing.
record this,
Honestly, I could work
get
with one of
real
those
drugs?
I'll grab a cigarette.
Sucks. Hey, the red shell pass.
Does anyone in here smoke cigarettes? Okay, just making sure.
Dude, please
they're not
don't.
to
You
get
know, I
upset.
don't really like to have the camera on me.
Shimmy, 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 yeah. Shimmy, 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 yeah. Shimmy, 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 yeah. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. Oh, baby, we like it.
Good morning.
Yes, baby, we like it raw. Oh, baby, we like it raw. Oh, yeah. Yes, baby, we like it raw. Come on. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, hey. Give me the mic and we'll take it away. The old thing was the kung fu thing. Big the dirty boss with the crazy rapping. Gonna proclaim. Oh, it gonna proclaim. That's a big up ball on the hip hop crew.
Are you gonna make these into cool edits?
Absolutely.
Fuck yes.
Alrighty, up next we got sleeping/isolating. Now, you know, there's quite a bit of a conflict with this one, because while I think that it can be very much needed in times to get some rest, because your brain can be very overworked, definitely, from time to time. Not only that, but you can get very kind of overwhelmed with social settings and how you're supposed to fit in at work, at school, with friends, with family, anything in general, and having some time to sort of reflect and get to know yourself is definitely a very necessary thing in life. But on the other hand, I do think that it kind of goes against what is very healthy for the human brain, which is social connection. You know, we are not gods. We cannot be self-sustaining. You know, if you are only for yourself, then what are you? I think is a quote that I heard, which sometimes just scares the shit out of me for no reason. I think sometimes isolating, and especially spending a lot of time doing both, like oversleeping and over-isolating, can lead to you feeling much more like you don't fit in because you don't actually have those connections. And there's something about humans that I think they just go a little bit insane when left alone with themselves for too long. I think we all have come to learn that over the last year or two. I'm gonna have to put sleeping and isolating in the C tier. It's kind of a middle thing, because you know, I think it has its pros, it has its cons. It's a fairly neutral thing when it comes to being unhealthy. All right, up next we got shopping slash just consumerism in general. You know, just being on Amazon. You know, going. I know it seems a bit niche, but even if it's not retail shopping or going to a department store getting new clothes, I think when it comes to just, you know, buying lots of fancy new shoes or constantly spending lots of money on your car, I think there's something about us that through this good old capitalist grind set, we've come to feel that, like, regardless of the philosophy that we keep spewing of money can't buy happiness, we really do think that if we just purchase more things, it'll kind of fill the void in our life. And obviously it can lead to a bit of a messy financial situation, but I don't really give a shit about that. I'm gonna put shopping firmly in the D tier. Because it feeds into capitalism. Capitalism wants you to spend money, and I don't like spending money, and I don't like when you spend money. Don't buy products. Don't go to a store. Don't shop. Don't. Right, up next we got avoiding negativity. Now I know this one seems like a very, like, oddly specific one, but I think when it comes to getting to these really stressful times in our lives, we can very much try to just cut out all the toxic people, unfollow a bunch of people that we're tired of seeing, avoid any situations that might be filled with drama, try to just surround ourselves with positivity. The truth is that there is no cleansing your life. There is only adapting to life and trying to make it the best that you can. And obviously you can try your best to avoid the things that you know are pointless and are just going to make things harder for you, but you're never going to just avoid all the assholes and avoid all the toxicity. You're not going to be able to just pick out people that from the get-go you know they're good people and they're not going to be filled with any drama or any baggage around them. It can prevent you from growing and maturing when it comes to adapting to these situations and overcoming them and understanding that they're a part of life just like anything else, and your life is gonna be really fucking boring and stupid if it's always just peace and fun and no problems ever. Avoiding negativity, I'm gonna have to put kind of like between B and C because that's where I want to fucking put it. Stop. Up next, we got promiscuous behavior. I don't know why I said it like that, but I don't know. Just you know when you get to those points and you just go horny. Don't lie. We all know that you've been in those states where you lower your standards significantly. You want to be outside around people all the time for one reason in particular, and we all know what that reason is. It's not because you want to make new friends. It's not because you want to have experiences. It's because you want some crotch. Honestly, I don't think I have any problems with promiscuous behavior. I mean, sure, it can lead to some kind of meddled emotional states about what you want, but I feel like everyone needs to get like a horny phase out, and I think for most people all the time it's usually a somewhat beneficial thing emotionally, and usually it can raise your self-esteem quite a bit, because if you lower your standards a bit and you're only having sex with people that you wouldn't normally want to have sex with or that you know you can do better than, then they tend to kind of just be all over you, and maybe that's a little bit shallow, but whenever you're in those times, it can really be what you need. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention the risk of unwanted pregnancy and the many different painful and expensive STDs you can contract. I'll put promiscuous behavior in the A column, because we all want some goontang.
This is the kind of chick that's so hot, you almost wouldn't mind getting the herp from her, you know?
I still would mind
this
that.
This bitch is so hot, I would pay her just to spit in my face.
I get the point.
I wish to engage in sexual intercourse with you both. Will that be okay?
Straight to the point.
Yeah. More. Oh, yeah.
I'm glad you liked that. I'd like to see if I have the skill to seduce two cousins into wanting to fuck each other, because that would, I think, prove quite a few things in my life. Alrighty, last but not least, well, almost last, but none of these are least, obviously. Well, I guess one of them has to be least. We got running away from society into the wilderness. I think we've all started to have these thoughts of like, oh, all these problems I'm having have to do with work or school or like being a part of society, and think of how much fun it would be to just kind of run out in the woods and basically just camp for a little bit. And then the train of thought kind of derails, and you're kind of like, I think I know basic survival skills. I feel like I could emotionally bring myself to like kill some rabbits and squirrels and like roast them over a fire. Play music on like a little banjo that I made out of like a rock and some twigs and fishing line that I dug out of the river. And yes, you know, for some people you can. I mean, for a lot of us, I think we've adapted to society, and as much as we feel like removing ourselves from it might answer our problems, I think there's a lot of us that have really gotten attached to the certain parts of society that have made life better, because as much as my channel might lead you to believe otherwise, I complain about capitalism a lot, but I really love a lot of human innovation, and I love a lot of parts of society, and I think a lot of parts of society that we love are because our human brains are just so much bigger and cooler than any other brain on Earth. The bigger our brains get, the more capable they are of understanding and feeling all these emotions and these psychedelic thoughts. And society has made us able to make art and to connect with one another, regardless of where they might be in the world. And it's allowed us to play video games, and it's allowed us to look at porn. It's allowed us to order drugs off the dark web. My point is that I think as much as we've all considered this, I think we've all also come to the realization that that's not going to fix our problems. There's still going to be something we're missing in life, and that maybe the thing we're missing in life is figuring out our problems. I'm going to put running away from society into the wilderness firmly into the F column, because I think doing that is giving up on what makes us a human. That's just going right back to what we were doing when we were cavemen. Why did we come all this way if we're just going to go back to living in the woods and banging some rocks together? Let's do something with these big human brains and not waste it on fishing or whatever. I really, honestly, this video has kind of gotten away from me. And now, certainly not last, but LSD, or really any psychedelics in general, psilocybin, DMT, ayahuasca, peyote. Now, if you've seen many of my videos before, I think you're probably already going to know where this is going to go, but let me just talk about it a little bit anyway, okay?
I've spoken to a large number of young people, asking them, why do you take LSD? They've given me a variety of answers. The most frequent are the following.
I took it the first time because I was curious.
Under LSD, God's not a faraway idea. He's something that's right inside you that you're experiencing now.
I took LSD for a kick.
Man, LSD is like a vitamin for the brain. I mean, to expand your mind.
LSD stimulates creativity in the brain.
In other words, it expands your thought processes so that you can take in more.
We gave a series of 50 tests to people before and after LSD. We found that at the end of 6 months following their LSD taking, they were no more creative when we measured them than they were before they took the LSD. However, their inner feeling of subjective creativity was there. They may have an impression of creativity, but not creativity itself. Creativity is 90% perspiration and only 10% inspiration. And LSD doesn't enhance one's desire to perspire.
LSD is a really groovy way to find out more about the things around you.
LSD helps me understand the whole world better.
LSD helps you to understand your own mind. It releases your mind to you.
LSD is a way about finding out about yourself, about your own problems.
What about the question of self-insight and of self-awareness? Is it enhanced under LSD? Well, in over a dozen years of my own research, speaking with hundreds of young people and old, their feeling that they had an increased awareness following LSD is not often borne out by their subsequent behavior. They do not seem to have changed their lifestyle for the better. Indeed, unfortunately, sometimes it is for the worse. On rare occasions, they may obtain valid insights. So often, though, all too often, they do not.
I think that all LSD really does is kind of just unfold your brain and give you a much closer, more obvious look at what's going on inside. I'm putting LSD firmly in the S tier because my life would be much worse if I had never taken psychedelics, and I think I would be much less in tune with myself and with my fellow people and with the world around me if I had never partaken. So that is my tier list. I know it wasn't really as fun of a tier list as maybe some of the other ones you'll watch about, like Wendy's fast food hamburger, but 'tis the season for connecting with your fellow human, and I think we could all use a little connection with the way the last couple years have been. You know, the older you get, the more you hear, oh, it's tough right now, life's been rough lately, we're in a rough patch, and at a certain point you start to realize that that's kind of what life is. It's just kind of a bunch of rough patches, because with the human brain comes the ability to love, but it also comes the ability to suffer, and that's a really fucked up, heavy thing, and it sucks, and I want to kill myself every day. But there's little things we can do to shine a light on the little dark corners of our mind, and that's all I got as far as cutesy little metaphors go. So I finally hit 200 subscribers, and that means so much. It may seem like a small number, but I've been waiting to hit that for over a year now, and I'm just excited to see where things go. I don't know. I just love making these videos, and I'm never gonna stop, even if I stay at 201 subscribers for the rest of my life. This shit is great, and you're never gonna get me to stop. So you better just get used to it, you know. All right. Well, I'm sorry for making the last 6 minutes of this video just a giant ramble. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you very much enjoyed, and is it? Has that been there the whole time?